So this is a thing there's not really a specific scientific name for. I've made up different names for, but Native Americans call it something different. Asian people call it something different. African Americans call it something different. People all over the world call it something different, but it's essentially the same spiritual ascending idea, which is that the essence, the true deep essence of your mother and father's being in their heart is intertwined and interlocked into your heart. It is unbreakable. It exists not as an idea or a decision. It is like its own organ. It's like its own body. It is physically a living, breathing part of you that you can't break apart from space and time. No matter how old or young you are, that thing stays interlocked into the entire molecular spiritual structure of every fucking thing that you do. The reason I bring this up is to make people aware of the metaphysical implications of putting a child in between sides of two archetypes. An archetype is your mother and your father. Those are the things that represent philosophies and ideas in your mind as you get older. They represent what you are going to think of as strength and what you're going to think of as intelligence and stuff like that. When you are put in between the hateful biases of two archetypes, your brain kind of scrambles itself. It kind of goes all over the place because it kind of needs them for a way to direct the messages that's occurring electronically inside of you. You need some sort of way to discern where your heart is supposed to be directed, because all the focus that is in your mind of what you want to do in life and what you love and what you choose and how you make choices starts actually here. It doesn't start in here. If the beings that are bringing you into the world are at odds, you inherently will not feel safe in your heart. You are inherently being surrounded with danger, and you're going to react normally like an animal reacts when they are surrounded by danger. You go into your shell. You implode. That's what's medically supposed to happen. It's your brain acting rationally to being surrounded by danger. And when you're surrounded by danger and you implode, you sacrifice all the things that come with reaching out to one another. You sacrifice things that come with asking questions and wondering how people are, because you don't care anymore because you're focused on surviving and staying safe. The worst thing about being caught between two sides of two hateful individuals is that you never really know definitively where to direct your love, where to direct your trust, where to direct your loyalty, who you're not going to make happy, how you're going to make them happy. And before you know it, because of that conflicting corner that they have decided to put you in, before you know it, you've already started putting all of their emotional needs before your own. Because it's so hard to express the pain that they're putting you through, you start suppressing your own emotions to make them feel safe, so that they don't have to worry about the burden that you feel you are. Because since those two parents are devoted to hating one another, you wanting to be loved and you wanting to be a middle ground and you wanting to be accepted is technically a burden. Because in order to accept you, they would have to accept each other. And this should come to no surprise. It's not psychologically deep. Most people are cowards when it comes to facing the true nature of themselves. And so I need people to realize the terror that you put into the heart of a living being when you treat your child like they're worth less because they remind you of the person you slept with. That teaches them to hate themselves over time. Because if you hate what you come from, you learn to hate yourself. That logic's pretty simple. And the longer that you are expected to fulfill the needs of these biases,